This is an honest review of John Wick. Suit for Hire. Let's take a look. Alright guys, so today we have another early access game. The amount of games that are just absolutely hot, flaming garbage, just in general, but especially in indie and early access, is just so large. You would be surprised to just find anything good. So after digging about 2.5 hours, I came across this game called Suit for Hire. And after watching the trailers that were for it, I had this very excited feeling of, you know what, this looks like a top-down John Wick game. That was my immediate impressions. And so I said, I'll try this for $10 because it's on sale. Retails at $14.99. And so I played it, and my world, guys, this game is so much fun. It is so much fun. The combat is very satisfying, but we're going to get to that first. So the combat is very clean. The animations during combat are very John Wick. Even the way he reloads, he just kind of throws the mag out, puts another one on. It's very slick. The hand motions, he tucks in his gun whenever he's in a tight corner, and then he'll extend it out whenever they're far from range. Those are just animations though. The actual gameplay itself is very satisfying. It's a very just move from area to area, clean out the enemies, and then move on. And it gets kind of repetitive, and by kind of I mean it gets repetitive. And a lot of that has to do with there's not a lot of diversity in the combat. You're pretty much just one-shotting everyone. Now, that sounds bland, and sometimes it is, but guys, it feels so damn clean when you walk into a room and you just one-shot everyone and you don't miss a shot. You actually feel like John Wick. I can't explain it. You actually feel like John Wick. The type of weapons that you have your basic weapon, which is the P30L. The game doesn't tell you that, but if you've seen the movie and you hear the gun, it sounds like an absolute beast going off. That's what it is. So you have your P30L, and then you can iconically, as you kill enemies, you can pick up their weapon and then use it as a weapon. You can throw weapons to stagger enemies, and then you can finish them off with your handgun. All the weapons in the game right now are your base weapon. You can get, it seems like a 9mm, shotgun, some sort of submachine gun, and then it looks like an MP5, and then you have an AR-15. All of the guns work really good. They're all very good. The meat behind the shotgun is awesome. I love the way that the developer has shown the recoil. When you shoot it, the screen actually jumps back. It's not overly done, but it kind of moves back. It's great. There's also melee combat, so you can fight, throw a few punches, you can kick, which breaks blocks a lot from the melee guys, and then opens them up to be able to continue to punch and kick. And then there are these executions you can do, right? So pretty much they're glory kills, which kind of mimic, iconic takedowns from John Wick. It works really good. It's just a shame of what kind of happens. I don't know. I've been seeing this a lot in games. You get these glory kills, and you get ammo, or you get something out of them. And it's just, anytime that you take movement away or control away from the player, it makes it less immersive. Now, obviously, I understand why they're put in there. I get it, but it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky. In this, it's not so bad. In Doom, in my review, it's kind of bullshit, I guess, because it's very difficult to say whether or not it fits in this or not, without trying to be as little biased as I can. So let's get into the actual world development itself. What's the environment like? What's it like moving from stage to stage? All of that, your interaction with the world. Maps themselves are very bland, as I mentioned before. The issue is there's not any sort of life going on. You just kind of walk into an area and there's just bad guys that are just there. They look like they were just spawned there. They don't really look like they have a reason to be there. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lack of diversity and actual mission variety. So you walk into a subway station and you would expect there to be people, you know, getting on and off of subways or anything like that. Instead, it's not. It's just bad guys that want to kill you, and they just come from everywhere. And that's one of the problems, is that I'll go through and I'll clear an area, and all maps are like this, but a couple of them are, I'll go through and clear an area, and then there will just be people that just spawn off screen. It doesn't make any sense. It breaks immersion. There's got to be a better way to implement putting in enemies besides just randomly having them spawn in. And the mission variety is very bland. It's not, you're just going through on the Slaughterfest. That's what you're doing. It would be really nice if we could have a mix of maybe stealth missions with open, you know, with just unleash absolute chaos. You know, maybe if you get caught during a stealth mission, then you can just release the beast. Maybe, you know, there's a one map where you're going through a club, right? There's no civvies. The whole room's just loaded with guys. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why not have civvies in there? Make it part stealth mission, you know, where you can, you know, if you can silently take everyone out, but if you get caught, you're effed. Or you can just run in gun blazing. It gets and that's a part of the repetitiveness and the problems. But while it is very repetitive, and it does have some problems, and we're going to get into the bugs right now. So some of the bugs are actually, and there aren't as many bugs as I thought there was. So some of the bugs are, while he's holding a gun, the left hand will just kind of look like it's having an issue, and it's just kind of flailing there. Well, it's not flailing, but just kind of sticking out underneath the right hand. And then there are, whenever you die and respawn, your guy is sort of in slow motion unless you roll or shoot, and then it breaks the freeze, and then you're able to go. So there is also a bug where if you try to pick up multiple weapons, the entire clump will just come to you and nothing ever actually gets picked up, or you'll just keep picking up the same weapon over and over and over again. Obviously that's not supposed to be. Sometimes you'll have guns just sort of floating in the air after you pick up other weapons. There's also other times where, and I don't think this is intentional, but I'll kill an enemy and I won't be able to pick up their dropped weapon, but most of the time that I can. So that'll happen every once in a while. Crashed around 3 times straight to desktop, so then I had to reboot the game and then go back in. So that's not necessarily a bug, but there's some sort of optimization problems going on with that. Those are the only bugs that I found. But in regards to actual intended content that is there that I think should change, that I think would really help the immersion in this game, and just really help just the game in general. So the amount of damage that every enemy can take is very consistent. Pretty much everyone can take the same amount of damage, with the exception of there's one unit who you shoot his helmet off and then you can kill him. Besides that, everyone takes the same amount of damage. And this issue comes with, you have these big shielded guys, and they're obviously, they're kitted out. You see them and you think, wow, this is going to be a battle, but you still can one-shot them with your main pistol. You can still one-shot them with a shotgun. They still take 3 shots from the small 9mm, but so does everyone else. Everyone else takes the same amount of damage, with the exception of the one unit that I mentioned before. Why? You've got these freaks running around in t-shirts, and sure, them dying in one shot, I get that. But then you get these shielded units that die the same amount. It just doesn't make any sense. You have these pickups that you can do that are just there, and they're floating. You've got money pickups, you've got ammo pickups, and then you have ammo pickups specifically for your P30L, and they're just kind of sitting there, and it looks like something that came out of just an older game, and it completely just breaks immersion because it reminds you that you're playing a game, not actually going on the slaughter. I don't know why those are there. Find some other way that's a bit more immersive to get these items. Maybe have at the end of missions have a money payout or something, or maybe at the end of a contract have a big payout right at the end or something like that. That would be really neat. That way it makes it more immersive. And another thing is going to be the X-ray vision through the walls. I can see enemies before I even get to them, and this isn't Divinity Original Sin 2, so it doesn't get the same exception. A big part of this game is reflexes, being able to flick your mouse really quick to be able to drop everyone really fast. It completely takes the jumping out of your chair moments if I can literally see the entire group of enemies before I even get to them. Come on. Don't think X-ray vision is good. It's not. It's cancerous. Take it out. So just real quick, I know this video has gone, we're getting long. This game is made by developers, or one developer and two other people. Okay, this is a 3-man game, and they are committed to making this game really good. They're open to suggestions. I've seen videos. The developer has a YouTube page where he's kind of showing his progress where he's building this game, and he's working his ass off, and he's really working. He wants to make this game good. So, and I want it to be good too, because I want a good John Wick game. I think that this game at $10, I've already played 6 hours in. Now, there's a lot of missing content, like I said. They're looking at being able to build loadouts for you to go in before you go into a mission. That sounds absolutely great. Maybe bring in some ammo boxes, bring in, maybe some armor vests, right? Because depending on your difficulty, it changes things, right? On the easiest difficulty, you have full set of armor. On the hardest difficulty, if you die once, the whole mission resets on, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, the difficulty variations are nice, but maybe let's kit ourselves out to maybe the way that we would like to play. Maybe if we're more of a stealth player, we can choose to kind of have more of a stealthy kit. You know what I mean? But still aggressive. We still want to hold true to the formula that's in this game, and stuff like that. There's a lot of updates that are going to be coming out soon for this game. I really think for $10, as of right now, you can get a lot of fun for $10. The replayability, I think, is really good, because the way that they have set up that you can turn stuff on and off, right? You can turn off your laser. In my footage right here, I didn't have the laser on because it's just the way that I played now. But at first you have a laser sight on your gun, but you can turn that off to make it more difficult. You can turn off, like I said, the variations in the difficulty really make a big difference. It really adds to the replayability in this. And if the developer adds and just keep adding, and if he makes a lot of these changes that we've talked about, I think this game could really be really good. So for $10, I think you get a lot of fun out of this. For $15, I would kind of I would wait for a couple bigger updates, and then go from there. See what you think about that. So yeah, all right guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.